Hello lovelies! I was recently approached by the Children's Society about their campaign called Seriously Awkward. They recently had a national debate where they tackled the question of whether or not Britain is failing its teenagers. It was about young adults and where they stand in the law when they become victims of sexual exploitation when they are over the age of consent. I think that's pretty cool, because how often do we really think about the fact that when you're over 16 you can't really go anywhere to tell somebody that you think that the thing that that person did to you wasn't right? Because if I was 17 and someone touched me somewhere I didn't really want them to, I don't know if I would feel comfortable or confident enough to go to a police officer and say, that guy touched me in a weird place, like what do I do? He would probably ask me how old I was firstly, and I would tell him that I'm 17, and then he would probably say, well, you know, don't wear short skirts next time or something. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say that he's mean. The real issue is, what legs do you have to stand on when you are over the age of 16 and something like that happens to you? The campaign encouraged people to speak out about Seriously Awkward and to ask questions, some of which were answered and some of which weren't. So I've been asked to answer some of the remaining questions that were asked during the live debate. Now I've got to say I'm a little nervous because I don't consider myself a professional advice giver. I just give advice because I've been through things and I feel like I can offer some help. So I'm gonna try my absolute best to answer these questions, but my real goal for this video is to encourage you to speak out about Seriously Awkward and to join the campaign. All the links are gonna be in the description below. So one of the questions that was asked was, what was it like when you were 16 or 17? Well, at that time I was in a very serious relationship with my first love, and most of the time my heart was a bit like this. It was all tangled and confused. I was in this very adult relationship, but I wasn't quite an adult yet. I was feeling and experiencing all kinds of emotions that maybe came to me a little too early on in life, and I didn't quite know how to deal with them. This resulted in a lot of fighting, a lot of inner conflict, and a lot of tears. I was seriously lucky not to have any horrible thing happen to me where he did something to me sexually that I wasn't comfortable with, but I can imagine that that does happen very often, especially when you're of that age and you're in a serious relationship and then something just goes a little too far and someone isn't that comfortable with it, but because you're in this relationship and you're over the age of 16, you know, these things just slip. It would be great to be able to speak to somebody and say, this thing happened, I don't know what to do, and to have them actually tell you, these are your rights, these are the laws, we can help you in this way. If this has ever happened to you, I would take it seriously. I wouldn't just brush it off because you're over the age of 16. I would go and speak to somebody I trust and I would work through it. Don't hide it under the rug, because I promise you one day it will come back to you and you will wish that you dealt with it properly. What age was I when I actually felt like an adult? Never. I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like an adult. I've never woken up one morning and suddenly felt like an adult. I still call my mom all the time. I absolutely love young adult novels and I'm obsessed with sweets. So I'm just gonna remain a child forever. Even though I don't really feel like an adult, I kind of am an adult and I have to do adult things. Admin, adult. I remember when my mom used to go and do all the banking and now I have to go to the bank. Like, that sucks. But you know, I can drive a car, being an adult sucks. Does this generation have it easier or tougher than previous generations? That's kind of difficult to answer. I think having access to so much information like the internet can be both a good and bad thing that affects this generation of teenagers. Cyberbullying, unfortunately, has obviously skyrocketed. People can just write whatever they want without a face and just say really mean things to each other. On the other side, I think the internet is a really good place for some teenagers who go and search for things that will uplift them. Instead of looking in magazines, they're watching YouTubers who are talking real things to them and who are not putting extreme amounts of Photoshop makeup on, but who are just sitting like maybe I am, just talking. And that can really help some. But I also think there's a lot of pressure on social media for teenagers. I sometimes look through my Twitter followers and I've noticed that everybody has a profile picture of Harry Styles or Casper Lee. Never them. And I don't know why that is, but I have a sneaky suspicion it's because people don't feel confident in who they are. We're all trying to get noticed, I feel. And in order to get noticed, we disregard who we actually are and we pretend to be something that we're not so that people will cling on to that. And I don't think that's healthy, because that makes you feel like you gotta be something else to be cool. And we all need to just be who we are. because that's the most important thing and that's all we got for the rest of our life. Is anxiety a worry or just part of being a teenager? I think all teenagers go through anxiety at some point or another. I think it's when anxiety starts to control your everyday life when it is a problem. If you feel like your feelings have been very, very different recently and you're a little bit worried, then I would suggest going to speak to somebody and getting some help. Do something about it. You deserve to be happy. Are boys less able to talk about being unhappy? I think society has somehow painted women to be the people that speak about their emotions more than men. I don't know where this came from, but I don't think that men can't speak about being unhappy. I like to believe that in this day and age, people are finding it easier to talk about their feelings regardless of their gender. Are we doing enough to protect teenagers from being sexually exploited? I'm pretty sure the world isn't doing enough, but I think campaigns like this are what we need to create change. The more we speak about it, the less taboo it will be, and the more confident someone might feel when something like that happens to them to go and take action against it. The more people who go out there and do something when something awful has happened to them, the more the law is going to have to jack up and make sure that everybody is cared for. I really hope this video helped, and I really, really hope that you will go and check out the links below. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you soon. I'm really hungry. Oh, I really need to eat something. Do teenagers need to eat more than adults? Because if so, then I'm a teenager again. Bye! Hello lovelies! New Year's is just around the corner, which may have spurred the idea of a midnight kiss. I've always wanted one of those. So I thought I'd make a video about kissing and how to get the perfect lips for kissing using soft lips.